Good day, everyone. We are the group 4 and we are going to discussion about computing intervals, estimate population proportion in statistics and probability. So let's start the discussion.
Lesson objectives. At the end of this lesson, you are expected to number 1. Identify the appropriate form of the confidence interval estimator for the population proportion. Number 2. Compute the interval estimates of population proportions. And number 3. Solve problems involving confidence interval estimation of the population proportion.
What is interval estimate? It is the use of sample data to calculate an interval of possible values of an unknown population parameter. This is in contrast to point estimation, which gives a single value. An interval estimate is also defined by two numbers, between which a population parameter is said to lie.
Formula: P equal the estimated proportion of successes. P is a point estimate for P the true proportion. X equal the number of successes and the size of the samples. P hat minus Z square root of P and Q hat over N is greater than P greater than P hat plus Z square root of P hat and Q hat, where P hat is equal to Z over N and Q hat equals to 1 minus P hat. The short form for the large sample confidence interval is P hat minus Z square root of P and Q hat over N. Note, when N is large, P can approximate P and the formula for OP.
95% confidence interval. A. Find the Q bar. The solution is Q bar is equal to 1 minus P bar is equal to 0.60. B. Substitute the value of P bar, Q bar, and N in the formula to find the maximum error of estimate. The solution is square root of P bar, Q bar all over N. E. Find the limits. For the lower limit, P bar minus Z alpha divided by 2 square root of P bar, Q bar all over N is equal to negative 1.96 times square root of 0.6 and 0.4 divided by 1,200. The next is to remain lang muna natin yung negative 1.96 and then 0.6 times 0.4 is equal to 0.24 divided by 1,200 is equal to 0.002. Remain lang palagi yung negative 1.96 hanggang makuha yung answer, and the next na kukuhanin natin is yung square root of 0.002. So, ang makukuha natin is 0.014. And then, dun pa lang natin imumultiply yung negative 1.96 times 0.014. And yung makukuha natin is negative 0.027. For the upper limit, P bar plus alpha divided by 2 is square root of P bar, Q bar over N is equal to positive 1.96 and positive 0.027. And makukuha natin is 62.7%. D. Describe the result. Thus, with 95% confidence, we can state that the interval from 57.3% to 62.7% contains the true percentage of all citizens who trust the President.
Trust the President. A survey of 1,200 citizens showed that 715 trust the President. Compute a 95% confidence interval for the proportion of all citizens who trust the president. Solution. Letter A. Point estimate. Step 1. Describe the population parameter of interest. The solution is, the parameter of interest is the mean proportion of all citizens who trust the president. Step number 2. Specify the confidence interval criteria. A. Check the assumptions. The solution. By the CLT, the sample size of 1,200 citizens is normally distributed. B. Determine the test statistic to be used to calculate the interval. The solution. The test statistic is the Z. C. State the level of confidence. The solution. Confidence level is 95% and A equals 0.05. Confidence coefficients 1.96. Step 3. Collect the present sample evidence. A. Collect the sample information. Solution. X equals 715 and N equals 1,200. B. Find the point estimate of P. P equals X over N equals 715 over 1,200 equals 0.596 or 0.60.
Let's say 130 fans out of 200 samples said they order hot dogs at the stadium. Then proportion equals 0.65 and N equals 200. Therefore, the standard deviation equals square root 0.65. 1 minus 0.65 over 200 is equal 0.0337. Formula for calculating interval. Proportion plus minus GA over 2 square root proportion 1 minus proportion over N. 99% confident interval on the population proportion. A equals level of significance. A equals 1 minus confident level. A equals 0.01. A over 2 equals 0.005. Look up 0.005 in negative Z table. Look up 0.005 in negative Z table. Z equals negative 2.575. P plus minus ZA over 2 square root P1 minus P over N. 0.65 plus minus 2.575 square root 0.65 or 0.35 over N equals 65 plus minus 2.575 or 0.037 equals 0.65 plus minus 0.0868 equals 0.5632 less than P 0.7368. 99% confident interval on the population proportion.